Hey everybody, my name's Harley Holland, and this is going to be my persuasive speech. Um, and I'm going to be talking about drunk driving today. I just want to show my audience. And let's get started. Okay, hopefully that's good. Um, so I just want to start off by saying, for all of the adults in the class, um, does anybody like to drink? Does anybody, do it on the weekends or with their friends, or do they do it once a week? Do they really enjoy it? I know a lot of people in Vegas definitely love drinking. We have all the casinos, and down at the Strip, where we party in the night and we just drink our problems away. Really, in this town, it's Sin City for a reason. But with that comes a lot of drunk driving accidents and DUIs. I'm sure you guys see a bunch of accidents out on the freeway and out on the street normally, pretty much once a week, every single week of the year. And I mean, you wouldn't be surprised to find out that a lot of them, or at least most of them, have to do with driving under the influence. And that's really what I wanted to talk about today. Is about the issue of drunk driving and drinking throughout the day and driving without any sort of precautions in Vegas and in Nevada. So it's important to have, in my opinion, worse consequences for DUI accidents in Las Vegas, because allowing people to uh, freely drink and drive could lead to destruction of property and, in a lot of cases, death of innocent people, of innocent bystanders. So I just want to talk about the current consequences of drunk driving and DUIs. So, the current consequences for a first time offense and a second time offense is up to 6 months of jail time, 2 days minimum for the first time, 1 week minimum for the second time, up to $1,000 fine, and 180 days of your license being taken away from you. Now, in my opinion, I don't believe that's enough, but I'll get into that in my second part. But for the third offense, it's 1 year minimum to 5 years, and it's almost a $2,500 fine. Actually, there was a really bad case that happened this year, or not this year, but it was 3 years ago. A man was doing 74 to 125 miles per hour in a suburban neighborhood, and he killed a man and crashed into a man that was 28 years old, a father of two, and he had marijuana in his system, the driver. And at first he was arrested on the charge of second-degree murder, but actually in November of this year, last month, the Nevada Supreme Court appealed that case and said it was just a DUI and it was a misdemeanor, because they said that there was no malice behind it. So if you think about it, somebody was driving under the influence of marijuana, knew what they were doing when they were out driving, going at an insane speed, and then killing a person, but then getting away with it and having to go, if it was his first time or his second time with a DUI, only going to jail for maybe like 6 months and having to pay a $750 fine. And that's just if it was his first or his second DUI offense. Nothing really other than that. I'm sorry. So here's the man that was arrested. It says here, this is from the Las Vegas News Journal, or Review Journal. He caused a fatal crash and he would face a murder charge. They said that he was just blowing through the neighborhood and that he impacted into a innocent bystander walking down on the sidewalk, and he was killed. So as it stands, I don't really think. I think that as an example shows that in Las Vegas and in Nevada, it should be taken way more seriously, because actually, according to the Las Vegas Review Journal, and according to QuoteWizard.com, which is an insurance firm for drunk driving and DUIs, Nevada was in the number 12 in the most booziest states of the United States. And it actually is a really big problem if you think about it, with people mostly working down at the Strip, working downtown. They're drinking throughout the day, and they're constantly driving everywhere. And that could lead to so many terrible things. And it may not happen all the time, but I think the precaution and, the certain outcome of driving while under the influence should be taken note of, especially in a town like this. And that's where I want to go into my solutions for this problem. I believe that I came up with two solutions. One solution is to have a better transportation system. I only really see a lot of bus stops and taxis down at the Strip and in the heart of the city. And I believe that's kind of unfair to the people who live sort of far away from the inner city. Because at least where I am, the next bus